Today's challenge seems simple. Go from League 2 all the way up to the Premier League. However, we're going to do it using only defenders. Question is, how the hell are we going to score goals?
Here we are then at Carlisle United. Now in real life they're struggling in League 2, but we've got a fresh start because we're going to start from the start of the season. Now squad wise, in position order you can see it's a decent mix just like a normal squad, but it's kind of top heavy with strikers, so all of these boys down here, they're not going to get a game. In fact, it's time to be super harsh by selecting as many as we can, and we're just going to transfer list a lot of them. So tactically, how do we get the best out of a squad that is just full of defenders? I mean, looking at the squad, I've got centre-backs galore, Hayden, Thomas, Lavelle, there's loads of them. Now, believe it or not, Aaron Hayden is probably going to be my main man, my main striker, because he's played a bit up front, look, clearly. And I'm looking at his record at Wrexham last season and the season before. Granted, it's in the National Leagues, but he scored 7 and 11. So he knows where the goal is, and if you look close at him, finishing is only 6, but he's got good composure of 11, so he's not going to panic, and obviously being a centre-back, he's got good heading. So the first thing we'll do is we'll get straight up to his retrain and we'll get him training as a advanced forward. Why not? There is some other players in the squad we can use straight away. Paul Dummett used to play at Newcastle. Good all-round player, isn't he? And he can play left-back, centre-back, of course. Higher up if we want. But looking at him with his passing ability, his tackling, his positioning, if we need to, we can maybe move him into defensive midfield. Another good player is Terrell Thomas. Centre-back, he wants to play, but he can play in central midfield. And he's got a decent passing ability. Not the worst on the ball as well, so for season 1 we might just shove him into defensive midfield. Now as we go searching for players, it's very tempting to think, right, let's go strikerless, but I think we can do things by playing some big lads up front, defenders as strikers, so that's what we're going to search for. So we'll go to the search and we'll bat in defenders, left, right and centre, and then attribute wise I'm going to pick out finishing. I'm going to drop it down to 10. Let's see if we can find any defenders with 10 finishing. Do you know what? Quite a lot of them come up. Quite a lot come up to choose from. Now, I love a bargain, so let's see if there's any that are out of contract everywhere. And that's what come up. Now, Debo, you can't tell me that he could not play up front. Finishing 10, composure 11, off the ball's not the worst at this level, and he's a nippy player as well. Unfortunately, he wants $4 a week, so that sort of player is out of the equation. So what I'll do is I'll knock down the finishing a bit, but I'll keep the composure level a bit higher. So I want my composure to be above 10. I think that's as valuable as finishing. We've got a clutch of players that come up now. Now this player has struck my attention. Wazari Williams. He's been about a bit. He's a centre-back, decent finishing and good composure. I think he could be a possibility to retrain as a bit of a target man. So I've got a tactic sorted and we're into pre-season. I did get signing of Wazari Williams over the line, and check this out. This is just a pre-season friendly, but what a finish. And in the same match, Aaron Hayden, who we're playing up front as his strike partner, delivers that. Promising early signs. So we're on a tour of Scotland here, and in the next friendly, Hayden scores again. In fact, with pre-season done, Aaron Hayden has scored 6 in 7, and now, already, is accomplished as a striker. All we've done is train him to be an advanced forward, and we've played him in every match. His strike partner, Wazari Williams, hasn't been as spectacular, but he's still scored 3 times. He's taken a little while longer to adapt to his new role, but we are training him to be a target forward. That will be our front 2, I reckon, going into this season. We'll get to the tactic ins and outs shortly, but check out the pre-season. We've won every match. Granted, there's been some easy games, but some toughies like Peterborough and Inverness Caledonian Thistle. In the early days, we did play a mixture of all defenders and some of the normal players because I was building a squad, but now this entire 11 you see there are all defenders of one type or another. So the 2 guys at centre-back, MacArthur and Lavelle, both out-and-out defenders. MacArthur's actually on loan from Newcastle, so he's probably too good for his. And Lavelle is a natural centre-back. Either side of them, we've got really good in attacking wing-backs. So these wing-backs in this formation will be ideal. You'll notice in the team instructions we've got hit early crosses because we've got big units up there, so why not? We've got a winger on one side who is a natural, I believe he's a natural wing-back defence. 2 guys in midfield, both are centre-backs. There we are, Barkley and Thomas. Down the left, we've got a left-back playing higher up because he can, so he's going to be really handy. And then we've got that front too. So the squad, everyone in the matchday squad is a defender of one type or another. All these guys here, unregistered or transfer listed, are the boys that just don't fit in anymore. And interestingly, if you look at Aaron Hayden now, he's now registered as a defender and a striker. That's what I want to see from the whole squad by the time we get a settled team. So we've gone into our first game against fancied Bradford, and centre-back Lavelle scored from a set piece, which is what we expect, but check this out. This is Dummett. Remember who's up front. Hayden and Williams. They're the two he's going to be aiming for, and we're fortunate that we've got some good wide players, and Hayden hits the bar and William picks up the pieces. Then, Dummett, Williams on the edge of the box again, and he gets back in the box and scores again. Now, come on now, this is wild. Cross comes in. Now this is getting silly. Hayden, 4-0. It's a stunning start to the season with a 4-0 win, and look at my two striker boys. Okay, next we went to Cheltenham away. Now this one, it blows my mind. We've scored 4 again, but Williams is there. Somehow he's getting in the right places all the time. Thomas goes through this time, right back again, crosses, Williams, into the second half. Now, this is what I thought most goals would come from, corners, but it's second balls, not direct, and Williams gets a hat-trick. Can you believe this? So Williams scores a hat-trick, we win by 4 again, defensive winger scores the 4th. Just ridiculous, what a start. And it's not like he's taken to it any quicker either. He scored 5 goals in his first 3 matches. The next game against Fleetwood, we drew 0-0, and this is one of those matches where we probably could have done with a natural striker. As you can see, Hayden and Williams, 6.3, 6.4, couldn't quite make the breakthrough. So, it's going to be an up and down season. But to say I'm excited about the start is an understatement. I've only managed to get out 1 player though, so I've still got an absolutely massive squad. Look at that. All these players will not kick a ball all season. So for season 1, I brought in 6 players. We know about Wazari. He's our new cult hero. What a player he is. Alex Williams comes in from West Brom. You can see the little red dot there, because I've got loads of players who can play defence. So I'm retraining him to be a defensive midfielder. Now take a little closer look at him under the development tab and training. You can see he's got most things in double figures already, so he should be fine in that position. Hilariously, I brought David Wheater in. Now a few FMs ago I played Darlington lower league and he was my top scorer. He scored 25 goals or something stupid like that. So why not? Chuck him on. And a couple of backup players. This guy's in on loan from Sheffield Wednesday, but listen, look at that. He can play literally everywhere, and he might even get a start up front if Hayden stops scoring. And Toby Amole, again, centre back, but can play all sorts of positions. Early days in the season, but we are sitting 3rd, and one thing's for sure, we should have a pretty good defensive record this season. We've only conceded 1 in our first 3 matches. There is a little bit of pressure on us though, because we are one of the favourites to get promoted. In game, we've got a strong squad, even though we're only using half of it. So the nuts and bolts of the tactic are pretty simple. We get it out wide and we cross it, but we attack like crazy and press hard. We've got defenders, so they should be able to tackle really hard. The question for the rest of the season is, will the boys up front maintain this insane form they've started with? So one thing I have noticed, when they do get a bit of time to think about chances like here, they kind of just smash it and hope for the best. However, on the flip side of that, when it's instinctive and they don't have a lot of time to think about it, they're pretty lethal. But the lack of striker instincts was quite clear sometimes. Damn.
So we're at the halfway point of the season. We had a great start. It did fall off a little bit as we struggled to score goals. And if you look at the XG table, this is where our problems lie. We should be top and clear, but we're not scoring the goals we should be. Having said that, Aaron Hayden has done well. He scored 11 times, and Wazari Williams also scored 11. They're just missing too many chances. But interestingly, our worst performances come in the cup competitions when I play the normal players to rest my defenders. So the temptation when one of the striker boys is injured is to bring in a real striker, but instead I brought in David Wheater. And to my surprise, he was actually pretty good as a makeshift striker. He's a big unit, but look at this for a finish. Progress for Alex Williams adapting to his new role as a defensive midfielder has been a bit slower because he hasn't started many matches. But he did score the goal of the season. Check this out. So we should be higher in the table, and this game sums it up. Doncaster Rovers beat us 2-0, but look at the state of the match. 24 shots. And currently in the league table, we're sat down in 8th. We are only 1 point off the playoffs and only 6 points off automatic, but the board are getting a little bit itchy. But we are actually in pretty decent form. It's just clicked over to January, but remember, we are under pressure because the season preview had us as automatic favourites to go up because we got relegated last season. So this little period up here where we were struggling a bit is counting against us. Add to that I kind of threw the EFL trophy. It's quite funny saying we threw it because we put our best team in, the players that do play and should be playing, but they blew it. We're creating loads of chances like the XG table showed, we're just not finishing them. I mean, you've got 2 strikers, one with finishing of 8, and then you've got Hayden with finishing of 5. You can see the problems that we have, but this is the challenge. The 2 centre-backs come strikers are in the goal scorers list. They are tied 11th at the minute. I'm trying to get John Mellish back at the club. He used to play for Carlisle. He's gone to Wigan. You can see he's a natural defender, can play midfield, but when I put him on a striker, he's already got finishing 10, composure 10, and off the ball 10. He's like the ultimate all-round player. I'd love to get him back at the club. But let's see how we do till the end of the season. The playoffs is an absolute must.
The transfer window shut. We were dealt a blow with Paul Dummett getting a hip injury, which will likely rule him out for the rest of the season. Add to that, Aaron Hayden also went down with an injury, but I did sign a player on transfer deadline day, Rooney, to play up front. No, not that one. This is Sean Rooney, and he started fantastically. He scored twice, but as you can see, he's a utility player. But I'm going to retrain him to be up front because look at the finishing, the composure, the off the ball, and he's 6'3". Absolutely ideal. Right, welcome back late in the season. We haven't got long left. I think, 5 matches to go, but look at the run we've been on since January. We've only lost once, absolutely flying. That signing of Rooney, Sean Rooney, has been absolutely key. He has scored for us 7 in 10, and he's linking up with big Wazari Williams superbly. Check this goal out. The improvement in Williams' finishing is outrageous. Now look at Rooney. There goes Williams. So his off the ball movement's pretty good for a big centre back. Lovely through ball. Takes his time. Bosh. And in the same match, this is the benefit of having a big defender as your striker. Lewis, keeper, has a look up. Pumps it long. There's Williams causing havoc. And Rooney goes through. Another great finish. Now that has shot us up to second. We're in the automatic promotion spots now. I mean, it's tight. All the way down to... crikey, 13th. They can all get in the playoffs, so we've just got to stay in this top 3. We're actually top scorers in the league with our all-defensive team, and second or third best defence, something like that. I brought in another tactic just in case for the games that we're struggling with, but I haven't had to use it. Just this one, and in away matches, if we take the lead, I'll just slap it down to defensive mentality just to calm things down a bit. It seems to be working, especially since the break for January. Flying. And Aaron Hayden's been benched since he's come back. He can't displace Rooney, but he's still scored 13 times. So it's a good thing now. We've got 3 defenders that are all capable of playing up front. And Williams, as you can see here, is now registered as a striker as well because he's got himself to be an accomplished striker. That's exactly what we want. So we'll play to the end of the season now, see if we can see this through, get promoted. Hopefully Rooney will also become an accomplished striker as well. So we'll see if we can get these boys promoted straight into League One. Well, folks, as you can see from that scene, we've done it. We've got ourselves promoted. We miss out on the title, but I'm not too bothered about that. We beat MK Dons in the game before last, and we've just beaten Harrogate to get promoted. And just like Curtis Flint says there, that's what it's all about. So at this point, we check on the budget. I haven't seen this yet. Let's have a little look. 175 grand a week and a really pretty proxy transfer budget. But I've kind of preempted that by a couple of signings that are on the way for next season. All released by Arsenal. Now these boys could be interesting. We'll get back to them shortly. But first, a little look at the league table. There you see it. We could have won this league, but we had a little bottle moment here where we lost 2 in a row against Fleetwood and Doncaster, but the clutch game was this one against MK Dons. A game where Rooney was all over the pitch. He was literally like his namesake Wayne. We've got a right baller here. I'm going to use him next season for sure. Picks the pocket of the defender there, and he's got really good finishing ability. He still doesn't want to play up front, but he should do because whilst playing there, he scored 12 and 15. He was basically the difference between getting us from down below the playoffs into automatics. And Wazari's got himself a new contract to 2026 because why not, with 19 goals this season. So it's time to plan for next season and see how we can improve this squad. All these players down here will be getting shipped out because they're all the non-defenders, so I've got a lot of work to do. But like I said, I've got 3 players coming in already, so they're all from Arsenal. We've got a backup goalkeeper coming in. He might end up being our number 1. We'll see how he progresses. He's 6'5", so that kind of stands out. Then this player is a central defender called Maldini Kachuri. What a name that is. But as you can see, he's got pretty decent technical abilities. Passing's 10. His finishing isn't outrageous at 7 with composure 10. Off the ball 10. Maybe we can convert him to a striker. And the next one is Cameron Ishmael, a left back. Absolutely perfect with good crossing ability. So I think he might be pushing to start next season. He got a bit scary at times to the board, but they do seem to be delighted with us now. There you go. It's still only a B- despite us getting promoted, but we'll see what next season brings. Really, the only annoying thing for this season is the youth setup. The best players are all strikers or midfielders. So now we've got promoted, I am going to ask the board to improve the facilities to see if we can get players coming through that way. Okay, we're deep in pre-season season 2. You can see the amount of players we've got in, but also we've got a truckload in at the back end of last season, including from Atletico Madrid. What's that about? But this player became available. Costis, centre-back. I think he will stay at centre-back as well, although he can cross the ball, so he can do a bit of cover at left-back. Got him for like 30 grand. So of the players who came in from Arsenal, Maldini Kachuri is probably the most exciting one. I'm not sure what to do with him. I mean, he's got everything you need from a centre-back. Do I just leave him there? I've started tentatively retraining him to be a defensive midfielder, but he looks really good. Another one I bought in was Joe Anderson from Sunderland. And again, he can play central midfield for sure. He's got good passing. His vision's decent. Is he a waste at centre-back? So I've made an error. I signed Killian Phillips thinking he was a centre-back, but he's actually a midfielder who can play centre-back. So he won't be playing, even though he's probably one of the best players I've got. Got in a bunch of squad players as well on free. Mark Kitchen can play down the left-hand side for us. Ryan Bertram comes in. He's released by Aston Villa, backup winger or fullback. And then another backup, Saisach Dev. But Andres Reyes is a player we signed from New York Red Bulls. He gets an allocated European spot. What is he doing playing for us? He's worth between 1.6 and 2.3 million. Going to keep him at centre-back. Josh Grant comes from Wealdstone, lower league football. Now he's going to play centre-back, but I'm quite tempted now to move him up to central midfield. And down the left-hand side, we've got Tayo Adaramola, comes from Crystal Palace, and he's a certain starter. So now I've realised I can't play Phillips. I've signed the wrong player. I'm just going to have to sell him on. I'm going to move Grant into there, go back to my no-nonsense centre-back and put one of the other boys that we've brought in, one of the 1,000 centre-backs, in at centre-back. It might be the lad from Atletico Madrid, Costis. Kane comes in from Ebbsfleet. He's a class apart. He cost us a bit in wages, 31 years of age, but I think he'll be pretty decent down that right-hand side. We've got an absolute ton of options to play centre-back, centre-mid, even out wide. The one area which I'm struggling with, which you might not be surprised, is finding strikers to go play. So at the minute, we've got Rooney with his ability to finish. We've got Mr. Williams, who we've completely transformed, and we've also got our boy Aaron Hayden, although he's wanted by higher division teams. I would like to get one more player in that is capable of playing as a striker, unless there's a player we see that we've got who could be retrained. And just looking at Joe Anderson, his finishing is not bad at 7, but his composure of 14, he could be an option. The other thing we've done well this pre-season is get rid of a lot of players. 700,000 at this level is quite a lot of money to bring in, and all these players were good players that normally would start, but not defenders, so they've gone. So goals for this season is to stay in League One. It's going to be tough. The odds have us down at 21st at 100 to 1. They're probably wondering where the hell my strikers are. But the good news is we shouldn't be under as much pressure as we were last season, because their goals for this season is simply to avoid relegation. So at least we've got the same thought process. The board culture, by the way, kind of helps us out. Play defensively solid football and direct, which is kind of the way we play anyway. Because we sold all those players, we've actually got a decent amount of money. Look, 600 grand. So if there was someone who came up, we'd be able to buy them. And we have indeed signed a player. It cost us 325,000. This is Marcel Lavernier. Now he can play pretty much everywhere. Either flank, centre back if you need him to, higher up, but I'm going to retrain him. You know it, I'm going to retrain him to be a striker because he's got good finishing and he's got decent off the ball and he's a little bit faster, so he'll provide good backup for the boys up front. When you look at the squad now, we pretty much are all there in terms of defenders. There's a few stragglers down here that I can't get rid of. Embleton, Scott and Kelly, but other than that, we've got our fully defensive squad now. My only worry is that we brought in too many players, but let's see how we're doing this season. All we need to do is stay up. Okay, so we've just lost against Bristol City, but look at their team. Mateta's playing for them, Garan Kowal's playing for them. They are ridiculous. But that's not why I'm pointing it out. Bristol City are top of the league, but we are 4th. Before that match, we were 2nd. We are right in this shake-up. This season's gone way better than I thought it would. We've only lost 3 matches, and if you'll notice, top of the goal-scoring stats is Sean Rooney. There he is. 13 goals this season in 15 matches, 103 minutes per goal. The guy is unhinged. He's doing great. His strike partner Wazari doing good as well with 5 goals in 13. It's them two playing most of the time. As far as the other players that we've converted, Anderson taking a little while to get going, but he is now accomplished as playing as a volante, and that's been the team most of the time. Josh Grant comes in when he's not injured. So far so good. Now to help a few of the players such as Williams, we've added a bit of extra training, such as an additional focus of shooting, finishing. Just makes a bit more sense for him. I'm trying to think of a way to get this boy in the team, Maldini Kachuri, mostly because he's got the coolest name I've ever heard. So there's the season overall. Not many defeats. Most of the defeats have come in the cup games where I've put in a bit of a weaker team. Like this one against Middlesbrough in the League Cup, we actually gave them a bit of a run for their money at 5-4. But if you look down the team list, it's the backups. It has meant I've been able to keep most of these boys fit. Now, Hayden is now recognised as a striker, as is Rooney. He's finally recognised as a striker, although interestingly, when you click on him, you can see that all of his attributes are going down. He has no want to play up front at all. I've kind of forced him into it. And for us, since we signed him, he scored 25 and 30. He needs to embrace it because he's ridiculous at it. But for someone like Joe Anderson, who we just looked at, who's just accomplished as a midfielder, although his attributes are going up, the game's not recognising him yet as a midfielder, so still a bit of work to do. And the more I look at Andreas Reyes, the more I think he could be a midfielder. We're 15 games in, so there's about over 30 games to go, so a long way to go, but it does look like we're going to be safe. I mean, that's a bit of a negative way to look at things, isn't it? We're going to be safe, but can we aim for these playoffs or even shoot for second? Because Bristol City are out of sight. They're just way too good. But I did have a little laugh at my career stats. So I've played 67 matches now. We've scored 139 times. We conceded 104, which is pretty wild considering we've got a team completely full of defenders. Welcome to the back end of the season, and this is the victory that sealed our place in the playoffs. That was a victory over Stevenage. We finished 4th, way behind Bolton and Bristol City, but still a pretty good effort, only losing 10 matches all season. And as far as the top scorers, well, our defender turned striker Sean Rooney finishes with 24 goals and is top of the charts. A little bit lower down, Aaron Hayden did finish high up as well. I'm well happy with this season. I thought we'd need a year to just adapt to this league, but we've done fine. And the 3 guys who play up front, Rooney, Hayden and Williams. Rooney finished top scorer in the league, like I said, with 24. Williams kind of rotated with Hayden, but he finished with 11, which is not bad. And Hayden had a hot streak. Got injured, but he had a hot streak. Finishes with 14, but 18 overall. Season was pretty consistent. Maybe a few too many draws here and there. We had a little bit of a glitch down here. You can see we lost 3 in a row. I was getting a bit panicky, but we are now in the playoffs thanks to 3 back-to-back wins. Now in the playoffs, it looks like we're going to play Peterborough, and we played them recently away from home, got a win. So I'm quietly confident going into this one. Into the first leg, we got off to a flyer through Williams, and then on the 57th minute, our second goal came via the left back, Ramola. On 70 minutes, we hit Dream Street as Rooney with the cross, and there's Big Williams with a stunning header. Saved, but he put in the rebound. And then with 5 minutes to go, it got even better as a cross came into New Volante Anderson. 4-0. Job done in the first leg. In the second leg, we let a 2-goal lead slip, but we still go to the final 6-2 on aggregate. In the final, it's going to be Wigan, and they've beat us every time they've played us. So here we go, it's Wigan. We finished above them in the league, but they did beat us twice. But we've got the psychological advantage because we've got the home dressing room, and believe it or not, I think that's a big thing. I believe it's a big thing. Come on. The biggest choice was who to play up front, Williams or Rooney, but Williams is on fire form at the minute. He's scored 5 in his last 5. He's got to start. 3 minutes gone into Dream start. Williams down the right-hand side. Big looping cross. And there's Rooney. That's actually a big thing because we haven't scored against them this season. So we've scored against them now. So we're in their heads. As long as we can survive this corner, we're in their heads. We're more than in their heads. On the counter-attack, there's only 8 minutes gone. It's that right-hand side again. It's another big hooping cross. And look at that for a header. And to think he doesn't want to play as a striker. He scored twice in the biggest match he'll ever play, probably. Half an hour gone. The third's just gone in. It's the left-back, Ramola. Look at all that room. Bang! More retrained players got in on the act. Williams this time. And unbelievably, at half-time, we led 4-0. Strikers combined to get us our 5th. I'm hoping one of these boys can score another so we get a hat-trick from one of them. That would be so apt if we get a hat-trick from one of the defenders. We didn't get a hat-trick and Wigan got a couple of goals back, but it doesn't matter because we have got ourselves promoted to the Championship. So let's just say we are ahead of schedule. That is a thumping win, and we kind of hit them on the break. They had more shots, their XG was through the roof, but we did it. The budgets have came in. It's pretty pathetic at the minute, so let's hope they have a little think about that because we're going to need to improve this squad drastically. Another 2 goals for my boy Rooney. He finishes the season with 27. I haven't even talked about the tactic all season. It's the same as last season. It's just doing really well for us. One Volante is a bit more withdrawn. Anderson played pretty much the whole season as a Volante on attack, and the good news is he's now classed as a natural in defensive midfield as well. So this is our promoted squad. You can see all the defenders down there, and they've all got now some additional positions. Williams with his striker position, Rooney with his striker position. There's Anderson with his DM slot. I've only got a couple to get rid of now that aren't strikers. Kedwin Scott will be going end of the season. In fact, I think he's the last remaining one. I've had a little look at the squad and I reckon those are the positions that we need to fill ready for next season. I want to give these 2 boys and Hayden a chance up front because they've got us where we are. So if we can just bring in quality players in these positions, maybe we'll have a chance of staying in the Championship. So ahead of schedule, we are in the Championship. But it came at a price, and I'm not sure why, because the club are in a bit of financial peril, and that's stretched over to the transfer budget and the wage budget, and we don't have anything. And that's a bit of a problem because my squad is wafer thin. So we've got a problem here. I was always going to try and keep some of the players, in fact most of the players who got us promoted in the team, especially the strikers, but I did want to upgrade some areas. However, I can't. For example, Owen Beck here, right? What a player he is. He'd be absolutely perfect for us. Released by Liverpool, can play anywhere down the left-hand side. You can retrain him to do whatever you want with finishing and composure and off the ball like that. However, as we go to try and sign him, he wants 10 grand a week, which is not crazy money in the Championship, but all we can offer is £110 a week. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we can't get anybody in. I'll have to go with what I've got, but we just simply don't have enough players to go through a whole Championship season. And we don't really have any sellable assets until I looked a bit closer and there's a guy in the Premier League that's going to help us out. Yep, that's Jared Bramthwaite of Everton. And you might not know this, some of you may, but he started at Carlisle. So he started at Carlisle, check it out, played 9 games, and then Everton signed him for 750,000. However, Carlisle were very, very clever. And if you look at the clauses, they included a 10% sell-on clause. Now, if we go back to Bramthwaite, you'll see his current value is 27 to 41 million. So for someone to buy him off Everton, it's probably going to cost the best part of 50 million. 10% would give us about 5 million. But at the minute, there's no clubs after him. But we do have another option. If we go back here, the sell-on clause, we can sell it for 2.4 million. Now, we won't get all that for the transfer fund, but it will give me some to at least get some players in. So we might get more in the long term by waiting, but I think in our current situation, I think I'm going to have to sell that clause just to get some players in. And the more you look at things, the more we probably need to do it, because there's the odds for the season. It's a strong Championship season, as always, one of the hardest leagues in world football. But you can see the big outlier is us at the bottom there, 400 to 1. The next closest to us is a clutch of teams on 50 to 1. So we are overwhelming favourites to get relegated. So clearly I had to get to work. So I sold that clause and I managed to get 5 players in, all of which are pretty good players. So the first one in is Brandon Cooper. He's going to be a squad player, but at this stage in the game, we need to get players who can be quite adaptable. So we need to focus a bit more on technicals, and his are not that bad. The next player in was Joel Bergen, comes in from Cardiff. Now he can play down the left-hand side, but again, he's an all-round player who could potentially be retrained at 24 years of age. The other 2 players I expect to be squad players. Kyle John can play anywhere across the back or defensive midfield already, so he won't need to be retrained. And Nico Lawrence comes in from Southampton on loan. So the only player I've actually spent money on is this player, Stefan Negru, comes from Oxford for 350,000. Now he's a centre-back, but as you can see, I've toyed with retraining him both at defensive midfield and striker, because if you look at his technicals, dribbling of 12 for a centre-back. Come on, first touch, technique, good passing. Don't know what to do with this guy, but I don't think he's going to end up playing at centre-back. Now, the season has officially started, and we'll get to that shortly, but there is a little time left in the window for us to maybe get in 1 or 2 players, but now the squad's a decent size, so I'm a bit more confident going into the season. And the first game of the season was a tough-looking game away at Luton. However, we started like a house on fire, and Williams pulled that off. Now, Luton equalised, but check this goal out. This is straight from the kickoff after they equalised. Williams to Grant, and then our other big star trainee, Rooney, bagged it. After that, Williams set off the next move to his namesake Williams down the right, and then he fed Anderson the Segunde Volante, and that gave us a stunning opening day win, and all 3 scorers are the boys that we retrained. In our first home game, things got even better. This is Oxford, and there's Negru scoring from the corner. Gave us a 3-1 win. We've won 2 out of 2, which puts us third. Now, obviously, we're probably not going to stay there with the quality of the Championship, but it's a hell of a start. To keep things going, I'm hoping to get this move over the line for Dylan Williams. Now, he's a left back, but he's already dabbled pretty much everywhere else on the pitch. Now, he used to be at Chelsea. He was on loan last season in the Championship. Nobody's after him at the minute, so I'm hoping to get that one over the line. But despite the signings we've brought in, the heartbeat of the team is the team from last season. In fact, in that starting 11, there is only Negru, who I'm playing at centre-back at the minute, who's a new player. The rest are on the bench. The other thing I am going to do is I'm going to retrain Andres Reyes to be a defensive midfielder. I was looking at him. Yes, he's a good player, but last season he didn't exactly blow me away playing at centre-back. I've got a lot of options at centre-back now, So I'm going to give him a go in central midfield. I'm hoping he has the same effect as Anderson has, who's took to it like a duck to water, now a natural, and he's obviously scored already this season. But for this season, it's very much stay in the Championship. We've started great, but let's not get carried away because there's a long way to go. Let's see if we can do it. Right, so shockingly, our start to the season continued. And at this point in the season, unbelievably, we'd gone top of the Championship. There was only 9 games gone, but look at that, what a beautiful sight. However, before we could get too cocky, we then lost 6 of our next 7 matches. Thankfully though, we've came out of that slump. I was getting a bit worried, but we just recorded this 5-0 thumping over Middlesbrough. I mean, seriously, that is probably the best performance we've had since we joined the club. And if you look at it, so there's the start of the season, absolutely storming, top of the league, and then after that Wednesday game, that happened, which was horrible. But look at our response since then. We're firing right back. We've only lost the 1 game, disappointing there against Portsmouth. And just over the halfway stage, just about to get into January, we're sat in 10th, but we're only 2 points off the playoffs. And if you look a bit higher up, stupidly, if we look a bit higher up, we're only 6 points off second. Now, what I should probably be focusing on is the bottom 3. But we're clear. Portsmouth have only got 6 points, which makes that 1 win against us even more annoying. But then you've got 13 points, 14 points. Those 3 are basically down. We're going to be in this division next season. It just depends where we finish now. If we can get a couple of signings in, who's to say we can't make a little playoff push? Interestingly, goal machine Sean Rooney has dried up a bit. He's only scored 5 this season in 22. The goal scoring mantle has been taken up by Wazari, who's our top scorer with 11, and Hayden has been chipping in quite nicely as well. He scored 4, mostly off the bench. But everybody has done their bit, including unsung hero, the only guy who can't play defence in the entire team, Harry Lewis, our goalkeeper. I've lost count of the amount of penalties he's saved. He's now valued between 7 and 8 million. But the team from last season, that is basically the team, other than the defender Lawrence, who's came in because I've got a couple of injuries at the minute, which is killing us a bit. Negru, the new centre-back, who I've been playing him at centre-back, has been really good, but he's got himself injured. Should be back soon. I don't know though, I am surprised about how well we are doing. We've lost 9 times, but most of that was in that one stupid chunk. Other than that, wow, what a season we've had. I guess all that's left to do is get to the end of the season. Anything's a bonus now because we are staying in this league, which was what we needed to do. But can we make a little dart on these playoffs? Flash forward till nearly the end of the season. We've only lost 3 matches and we've shot up to 6th. We've got a game next against Burnley, and basically the winner of that is going to get in the playoffs. So a tough game coming up, but Joe Anderson, Segunde Volante, this was his show. So Anderson put us in front. Burnley just equalised then, but Anderson with the assist. Check out this goal on the counter-attack. Hayden through. Rooney, who's been pretty shy this season in terms of scoring, but he thumped that one in, and then this next goal was the clincher. Hayden again down the right-hand side, and it comes off, and Anderson, bang! So that gave us that thumping 4-2 win. We're in the playoffs. We've upset the odds. Joe Anderson, remember I said I was going to retrain him as a striker? Well, I was thinking about it because of his attribute range. But I've kept him as a Segunde Volante, arriving from deep. Long shots of 10. Scored 8 goals this season. So what that means is it looks like we're going to finish 6th, which means we'll play whoever finishes 3rd. But it's been a super tight league. If we'd gone into a little bit better form earlier, we might have had a little outside push for 2nd place. But if you look at the stages, that's where we were top. Then we went on that terrible run. But we've slowly chipped away at it all the way through the season. And then we were 7th for a good 6-7 weeks, but we just nipped in and took 6th late in the season. And do you know what I love? The front 2, most of the season, have been our day 1 front 2 of Williams and Hayden. Hayden's come back into the team, done really well, scored 10 goals, but Williams has been the key man. Currently out injured, but he should be back for the playoffs. Scored 19 times. So we played our last game of the season out, beat Portsmouth 2-1. Hayden scored another goal, and I took as many players off quickly as possible ready for these playoffs. And as the shake-up comes to fruition, it's Bristol City who gets 2nd, and we're going to be up against Southampton. That looks a tricky one. Bristol City came up with us last season, so they've gone back to back. So it's going to be tricky against Southampton. We haven't changed this formation and tactic entire season. The only thing we've done is when we go ahead, Grant switches up into an anchorman, just holds it back a bit, and now and again the mentality will drop too defensive, but I've been on the vibe of just attack and try and outscore the opposition as much as I can. We're about to play leg 1. It's going to be at Brunton Park. I was just having a little look at Southampton's team. This is scary. They've got Adam Wharton, somehow just playing in midfield at 23, so nearly at his peak. He's going to be partnered by Ndidi. Their striker's worth 20 million. They've got Mauro Jr. as well, who's backing him up, worth another 15. And we're going to be counter-attacking them with the powers of Hayden and Williams up front. But I do think we have got the best goalkeeper in the league in Harry Lewis. So we do have a slim chance. First leg, really drab affair, 0-0. That's probably not going to be enough. Half-time in the second leg, nothing can separate us, but we are giving as good as we're getting. On 58 minutes, there was a breakthrough with a stunning free kick. And not long later, it got even worse after 65 minutes as Southampton went 2-0 up. 80 minutes gone, we gave ourselves a slim chance though, as Rooney found Hayden. And then deep into stoppage time, Williams down the right-hand side, Rooney again. We've taken it to extra time, but in extra time, Southampton struck really early. What is Omega doing playing for them? The boys equalised again, taking it to penalties. And we started horribly, with Ramsdale saving. But I said Lewis is the best goalkeeper in this division for a reason, and he showed it as he saved from Camaldine. Hayden scores, and then Lewis did it again. An unbelievable underdog fight back. We're in the playoff final. I mean, we were dead at 2-0 down. Dead. I'd gone defensive, which led to us probably going 2-0 down. But then I cranked it back up to attacking. And we actually got it done with that 95th minute equaliser. Rooney, player of the match. He's had a bit of a randomly bad season. He's only scored 7 times. But Jesus, did he come up clutch then. And Harry Lewis, he's the best keeper in the league. I'm convinced he's the best keeper in the league. So what it means is we've got Sheffield United in the playoff final. Now, if we have a little look at the previous meetings, they battered us 4-0 at Bramall Lane, but we did beat them at home, so there's a glimmer. I mean, this has taken me ages because I've literally had to play every match. Check out the career stats there, because if I'd simulated any of these, the assistant manager would have been like, what are you doing playing a defender up front? He would have took him off at half time. So doing it this way, it's taken longer, but it's been super satisfying. The only problem we've got here is a couple of our better players, Williams and Costis, are both suspended for this big match. And it's such a shame Williams is going to miss it. He's scored 19 times this season, but he's going to miss the biggest game. And do you know what I've realised as well? We're not in the home dressing room. That's not a good sign. So I won't lie, I was dreading this one, but then Van Bommel did that. He got sent off, then Rooney put us in front, and then just a minute later, Rooney turned provider to Joe Anderson for one of his thunderbolts. Yes, that red card massively helped, but we've done it. Defenders only, Carlisle United are a Premier League team. Thank you, Van Bommel, because if he didn't get sent off, I did not see us winning that match, but we've done it. He gets sent off, and the board have just chucked 22 million at me. Now, this challenge was just about getting us to the Premier League, but we're there now. I guess I've got to do a season, right? That late run got us there though. Look at that. We're 12 undefeated. And that epic game against Southampton will live with me forever. Now this tactic has done the heavy lifting. It's a good tactic. If I had 2 strikers there who were natural, God knows what we could achieve. But fair play, Rooney, quiet season, finishes the season with 3 goals though, and the vital goal. There is our full defenders squad with 1 Klingon remaining. Elliot Embleton. I've not been able to get rid of the little so-and-so. Everyone else though, defenders. And do you know what? I kind of want to give them a go next season in the Premier League, most of them. I'm just looking at the career stats. We've scored 276 goals in our 143 matches, and we have conceded 205, which is quite surprising considering we're a team full of defenders. But what can I do with 22 million? So I was always going to stick faith with most of my players, but there was a load of big-time Premier League players released. I could see Harry Maguire playing up front for me. Unfortunately, Harry Maguire could not see himself playing up front for me. It was pretty clear that the more established players weren't going to entertain joining us. And that's probably got something to do with our pre-season odds of 1,000 to 1. So instead, I went for more realistic players. Pereira here joins from the Eredivisie and NEC, and players were even turning us down to go to lower division teams like Preston. Finally, some players did take the plunge and joined us. Mads Anderson joined for centre-back or central midfield, and good versatility coming from Lamar Bogard. But most of the squad this season looks like being last season's squad. As I went down the free agent list, I realised just how rare it is to find a defender who can also play a striker. But we finally got what might be deemed a superstar for us as I signed Jed Spence. He cost me 7 million, and finally other players started to join as well. And we even signed John Mellish at long last. And he's going to play up front. So now we've got a nice competitive squad for our Premier League season, and all those signings made our odds from 1,000 to 1 to 1,000 to 1. First game of the season was Man United. and Wazari was off to a flyer. We then went away to Everton and completely shocked them, racing into a 3-goal lead before getting the win 3-2. The stadium's getting an upgrade and it's the 3rd game of the season now, and it's Tottenham at home, and unreal, Anderson pulls off another special. First 3 games of the season we're undefeated and we're absolutely kicking the Premier League's butt. And then it all went a bit wrong, very wrong, as goals went in from all angles. But then something bizarre happened. We went to Anfield, Liverpool, Jed Spence, bang! They battered us with 41 shots, but somehow we held on and got the biggest win in Carlisle's history. Wow. Yes, we were getting battered by teams, but we were picking up the odd win as well. Halfway through the season, yeah, it's not pretty, and we're on a disgusting run. 5-0, 5-0, 2-4, 0-4. But remember, we were 1,000 to 1. And after 20 matches, we've got 20 points. If we keep going at a point a match, I think we'll be okay. We've managed to scrape together 6 wins, and whatever happens this season, we'll always have this, where we beat Liverpool despite facing 41 shots. And unfortunately for us, after January, things didn't get much better, but we did pick up a couple of wins, and I mean a couple. Which meant with 4 games to go, we were stuck in 18th, 1 point behind West Brom. So out of these 4 games, I think we need 2 wins. At the minute, it's going alright against Chelsea. It's going alright. Okay, brave effort, but we lost. But so did West Brom. We're still in it. Next one's Leeds. Pretty much a must win. The problem I've got is none of my strikers have scored since the Victorian times. Yeah, we lose that one as well. But West Brom lost as well, I think. So it's as you were. 1 point. 1 point we've got to win our next match. So everybody lost then. So it goes down to the last game of the season. And wouldn't you know it, I've got Aston Villa. If Aston Villa are the team that relegates us in our first season in the Premier League, out of nothing, Adam Ramola's scored from the left back. Oh, what a beauty. Breaks to him. He has a look. He's got a wand of a left foot. Big deflection. I don't care. Come on. We've had a good half here. We're going out with a bang if we do go out. It's Villa, though. There's going to be a bite to this. But here's Big Joe. Anderson tried to find Rooney. Comes back to Joe. Nice down this left-hand side. Constant threat. Whips it in. Boys. Rooney's there. I tell you what, he had an off time last season, but this season, he's been the only guy who's been scoring goals. And what a reaction on the spin. Bang! Right, let's have a little look what's going on elsewhere. Latest scores, Bristol City are a team that can stop us. Where they at? So they're getting battered by Liverpool. Now, West Brom. Where's West Brom gone? We'll solve that mystery shortly, because at the minute we're on the attack again with Giles. Okay, so currently in the West Brom match, Newcastle, the stupid boys, have gone down to 10 and West Brom have equalised. But if it stays like it is now, I think we survive by a point. So we're deep into injury time. If Villa score again, we're down no matter what happens in the other match. We've just got to keep the ball. Keep the ball. That'll do. 93rd minute, the third goes in. That's got to get us the victory. It all depends now what happens at West Brom. Over at West Brom, do you remember this man? Van Bommel, the boy who gave us that red card against Sheffield United. Well, it turns out Newcastle are his parent club and he bags the third, giving Newcastle the win over West Brom, which means we survived by 2 points. My friends, that was rough. Look at the season. I mean, when it started after a couple of matches up here, I was like, come on, let's get to Europe. And then it all went completely tits up before you knew it, with one random outlier. We smashed Aston Villa 6-0, and I was going to come on and crow about it and say, look what I did to Villa. But then I noticed the last game of the season was Villa, and they could relegate us. But what a performance we put up. It's probably our best of the season, and we've bloody done it. So Sean Rooney, like I said, he scored 12 overall, 8 in the Premier League. Horrible average rating, but all my strikers do. Hayden scored 8 as well. I mean, it's not a bad amount for a Premier League striker. But God bless Wazari, got injured at the start. Hayden jumped in. Bit part play, but he still scored 2 Premier League goals. But my boys, my fully defender squad there, I've done it. They've got to the Premier League, and in the first season in the Prem, they survived by 2 points. There's the setup that did it for us. It had some heavy lifting. That tactic was doing most of the work, no matter who I put in them positions. There is one man that you can see who has been highlighted, the best keeper in the world, despite conceding 98 Premier League goals this season. He's still the best keeper in the world.